Hi, hope you're having an amazing day. As you saw from the title of this video, we're going to be playing with some new Romantic Beauty makeup. And I love Romantic Beauty. You guys know I've actually mentioned them before on my Instagram as well as on YouTube. So I'll have those corresponding videos in the description box below, as well as their website and their Instagram. We're going to be playing with a couple new products from their sites, including one of their blushes in the shade Carnation. We're going to be playing with the Dessert Cake palette that comes with so many amazing shades and happens to be a dupe for the Cake palette. I also went ahead and threw in a couple of my older products. For example, one of their liquid lipsticks. I went ahead and threw in the Pearl liquid liner. You guys know how I feel about these. I love, as well as one of their other like black liner type items, and this is so good. And lastly, I also threw in one of their new setting sprays. So if you want to see how these products performed and how I got this look, just keep on watching. And don't forget, if you like Drugstore makeup, go ahead and stick around, subscribe, maybe hit the bell so you're notified whenever I upload. And if you could like the video, if you like it, the video is going to start right now. Alright, so as you can see, brows are done. I went ahead and used my EBIN NY brow pencil. I went in just a little lighter because this is such a dark shade. And I think they look really good. I also went ahead and primed the eyes using the Bella Forever Eye Base 24-hour primer, which is part of my massive drugstore haul. So I've been trying to get use out of it, and it looks pretty good. And it's going to work really well because we were playing with a lot of colorful shades, which, you know, it's a little lighter of a primer, so I think it's going to work really well with the shadows. And then I went ahead and threw on some lip oil gloss from Shop Miss A, and this is the one in Rose. So as you saw from the intro, we're playing with the new Romantic Beauty Dessert Cake palette. If you haven't noticed from the packaging, this is actually kind of a dupe for the Cake palette, I believe it's called. It's really adorable. I had to pick it up. It does come with a mirror back here. That is how that looks. And then we get all of the beautiful shades in here. It's super colorful. It does contain one glitter as well, and it's just such a beautiful color story. So these are the shades we're going to be playing with today. I'm not really sure how much we're going to use this glitter here, but we are going to dip into the more berry tones in here. And we're not going to do anything complicated. It's going to be a really easy kind of look. I don't want to do any cut creases or anything. So we are going to play with those berry tones, kind of deepen up the outer corner and throw on a shimmer shade. And we're going to see how the formulation is. I do own one of their other palettes, and I have to say it's one of the best formulas I've tried from the drugstore. It's really blendable, but not powdery at all. So we're gonna see if this palette is the same formula as my last palette. I'm gonna take the shade Dulce de Leche, which is a really gorgeous kind of orangey tone in the palette. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on the eye. Right off the bat, super pigmented. When I put my brush into the shadow, there wasn't a lot of fallout, and if any, like it's a really nice formula. It's really pigmented right off the bat, but it doesn't like have a lot of powder like I've seen in other palettes, which is really interesting, and it already blended out nicely. Right, so that is the first shade. It blended out nicely, it packed on nicely. I'm really impressed. Right off the bat, it is definitely the same formula as the other palette that I have that they actually sent my way. It's called the Midnight Silhouette palette, and I'll have it on the screen. I also did a whole video using that palette, which is going to be down below if you want to give it a watch. But same formula, amazing quality for what you're getting, for paying like what, $14 for this whole palette. Right off the bat, I'm really impressed. I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna go into Red Velvet. I'm gonna throw that in the outer corner. This one is a little powdery in the pan opposed to the last shade. So that's interesting. Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow, that is gorgeous. So I'm just kind of packing it on, and then I'm gonna blend it out with Dulce de Leche. Taking some Dulce de Leche, I'm just gonna blend out the edges out here. So we're gonna go even deeper. We're gonna go into the shade Chocolate, and we're gonna deepen up the outer corners some more. This is probably like the most fun I've had with the palette, honestly. These couple days, you know, we've had that fail of a palette from Shop Miss A. It just wasn't that great. But I've really been looking forward to using more color in my looks. And I have to say, like, when you're working with a formula that's good, that's blendable, that's pigmented, it's just a different experience than using something that's really hard to blend, really patchy on the eye. You know, it's like because you want to have a good experience when you're doing your makeup. So I'm having a bit of fun here, just packing it on, blending, and just making it smoky and deep with this palette. And there's so many shades to play with, and the formula is so good. We're gonna go ahead and take the shade Carrot in the palette, which is a beautiful shimmer shade. We're gonna throw that on the lid. Oh my gosh, really soft. They're almost like a cream kind of shadow. You can definitely tell that's like more of a cream kind of shade. When I put my finger in here, it feels really wet, and honestly I'm living for that. It's making it more foiled, which I really am enjoying that effect that it's leaving on the eye. Honestly, seems to be that shade along with the blue shade. I am going to swatch this palette, so we're going to talk about the formulation and mattes and shimmers and the different types of shimmers right now when I'm done with this look. Honestly, I'm really impressed because I did swatch the other shimmer, and it isn't as like kind of like the putty formula that the cinnamon shade is. So that's the shade that I'm using. Did I say Carrot earlier? I got him confused, girl. I'm using the shade Cinnamon. Definitely seems like Romantic Beauty is stepping up their game. They're coming up with way more products than before, and it's like they had like a little reinvention. They're posting so many great items on their website. Definitely check them out. I'm gonna have their Instagram as well as their website in the description box below if I didn't already mention that. But they're a really great brand. And they have so many good bright, like it's not only like the packaging, it's also the formulation. Right, so I went ahead, threw on some liner. It's called the Romantic Beauty Ink Dip Liner. It's really beautiful, really black. So I went ahead and used this so we could be on brand. I also used the Romantic Beauty Pearl Liquid Liner. This one here is in number 10, which is a red shade. I went ahead and threw it over top that liner, and it looks really nice. I threw on some of the Beauty Creations lashes, and yeah, I'm living for this look. Honestly, it looks really nice. I did have to clean up a little bit of, you know, fallout. We did have some fallout with that raspberry shade, but it still looks really nice. It blended nicely as well. And yeah, so I'm really loving the look so far. Now we're gonna swatch the palette. We're gonna talk about the formulation with swatching. Honestly, I did notice some not so great things when swatching this palette right now, so we're gonna talk about it now. So again, these are the shades that we played with today. We didn't play with every single shade, but I am gonna go ahead and swatch it row by row. So I am gonna swatch the first 2 rows first and then the last ones last. So these are all the shades, so you guys can get a good look at them. All right, so those first 2 shades are on my hand now. So I want to talk about that glitter shade at the top. That is the shade Banana in the palette. I have to say I was a little underwhelmed. It is very interesting. It's like very light glitter. So I don't know how well it's gonna work if I decide to pack it on the eye. You guys know how I feel about glitter. It has to be a certain type of color, obviously, but I have to be in a certain type of mood to want to use glitters, and that mood doesn't come around often, honestly. So the glitter I'm not as impressed with. Now let's talk about that next shade, which is the yellow, which is the shade Pineapple in the palette. Again, something that I'm not really impressed with is that yellow shade. I did have to swatch it a couple times so it can get a little more pigmented and show up just a little more on my hand. The shimmer formula in the first 2 rows were not that putty type of formula, so they were not super pigmented right off the bat. I did kind of have to swatch them a little more, especially like those blue tones and stuff, but they are really beautiful, really colorful. And yeah, let's see how the next row goes. But the first row I wasn't really impressed with. Yeah, I feel like the second row did swatch out way better on the hand, but let's take a look and swatch the last 2 rows. Okay, moving on to the last portion of the palette, went ahead and swatched the last 2 rows, and I have to say I'm really impressed with this swatch story we have here. We do have 2 of those shimmers that I talked about that are really more of a putty type of formula. I do want to show you guys like a close-up of that shade, which is Cinnamon. Really interesting formula. It is more like of a putty, as well as this shade here, which is the shade Blue Raspberry. Also has that kind of putty formula where you can kind of move it around. And these 2 shades are really pigmented. The last 2 rows definitely did impress me. They were super pigmented. It was a 1 swatch type of deal, 1 time only, and didn't have to go back and deepen them or act them on or anything. So I have to say the last 2 rows were the most pigmented and honestly did surprise me, and I'm loving that type of putty formula that they added in here. I'm really excited that they're experimenting with new types of formulations and throwing them in their palettes. Honestly, it makes this palette a little more fun. I'm loving that it comes with so many types of formulas. I did notice that some of the berry tones did stain my hand after I removed the swatches, so hopefully it doesn't stain my eye. But honestly, this is such a beautiful palette. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this kind of swatching and talking about these shades individually, or like rows and stuff. Let me know down below so I can do it more often when I'm talking about different types of palettes and my new types of videos and using new makeup and stuff. All right, as you can see, everything else is on. I went ahead and powdered, I contoured. I did a little bit of cream blush on the bottom of my foundation as well as cream contour, and you guys know the whole drill. A bunch of the makeup that I used behind the scenes is actually from my Shop My Stash for the month of March. So if you ever want to know what I used and I didn't talk about, it's all in the description box below. We're gonna go ahead and use another new product from Romantic Beauty, and this is their blush in the shade Carnation. So that is how that looks. It's a really cute kind of packaging. It's not too bulky. I'm loving the color. It's really nice. And again, in the shade Carnation, this just seemed like the most nice kind of everyday kind of blush, right? And I did swatch it as well. I did have to go a little hard with the swatch because I did get a little bit of staining from the eyeshadows, but it's a beautiful kind of everyday tone. Go ahead and take some of the blush and start applying it. I also did finish up the lower lash line as well. I just threw on that raspberry shade that we used in the outer corner. Wow, this is such a beautiful blush. You guys know I love blush, so I always pack it on. It's a beautiful kind of pinky, corally type of tone. It's really nice. They have various shades on their website. So that is the shade Carnation. It went on so well. I am gonna go ahead and blend it out with a powder brush, but so far so good. This is a really beautiful, really easy buy. I knew, like, you know, formulation for blushes isn't that tough. Like, it takes something really big to mess up a blush. For example, if it's really patchy, I'm not into it. But you guys know I go for every type of shade in blush, and I blend it out and I pack it on and stuff. So I'm really a big fan of this blush. So if you're in the market for a blush, just throw it in your cart when you're purchasing something from Romantic Beauty. These are really, really nice. So just gonna throw on some highlights. I don't have a highlight from them. I did want to place another order because they have a couple of like face powders and stuff on their site. Oh my gosh, I was about to put some on my nose. Like, I never do that, so that was weird. Just throwing on some of my Juvia's Place liner. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take another Romantic Beauty product. This is their Pigment Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade 10. It's a really gorgeous kind of burgundy tone, really beautiful, and it's gonna go so well with this lip liner. And the doe foot is so long, girl. It is so nice. I'm also gonna throw on a little bit of gloss over top this lip. All right, so those are the lips, and lastly we're gonna go in with one of their new setting sprays. These are a dupe for like the Beauty Creation setting sprays. They have similar packaging, but these are from Romantic Beauty, and this one here is in Rose. It's really nice, and you definitely get a lot of product in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face, and these do smell so good. And then we're gonna end everything. We're gonna talk about all of the new products along with some of the older ones that I use on the face today. We're gonna do all that, and then we're gonna end it. All right, guys, so this is the final look. Let me know down below what you think. What was your favorite product from today's video? So we're gonna go ahead and get into my thoughts on these products. Let's start off with the blush in Carnation. This is a really gorgeous, really pigmented blush, really beautiful kind of everyday tone. I feel like it's a mixture between like a pink and a kind of peachy type of blush. I'm loving the packaging as well as the shade. It's just everything about it was really nice, and this does retail for like $8 on their website. So definitely something to check out. Nothing like extraordinary. You know, like, I'm not telling you to go out there and buy one blush from their site, but it's honestly really nice. And I just wanted to throw something else in here just to see the quality, the formulation. I hadn't tried any of the Romantic Beauty blushes before, and honestly I'm really impressed. The formulation is nice as well as the price. I went ahead and threw in a couple of the other products that I own from their brand. Let's start off with their liquid lipsticks. These are really nice. They are just a tad drying, but throwing on a gloss over it definitely solves that problem. It's really nice, really pigmented, and honestly always looks so nice on the lips. Their liner is really black. It is just a bit of a shiny type of formula. It isn't like a matte type of liner, so if you're into the shiny type of liner, I think you're gonna really enjoy this. It's really easy to throw on, and I love the packaging. It's really nice. You guys know that I always rave about my Romantic Beauty pearl liners. They've been in favorite videos. I've swatched them before. I love adding just a little bit of this product over top my liners because it definitely brings out all the little shimmers that is in this product, and it just makes it look nice. It adds a little something extra to every single look, and it's something that I really enjoy. So I'm really happy to have received these because these items they actually sent my way, which I'm really grateful for. Thank you so much to you guys at Romantic Beauty. You guys have such great products, and this is definitely a winner from their site, and I definitely recommend them. Not only is the packaging so cute, but the formulation is so good as well. As well as their setting spray, it's really nice. The sprayer is really interesting because you spray it, you know, it's nice. It's a nice type of mist. What I do have to say about this product is something that I never noticed before is when I'm spraying it, it feels so good. I just want to keep going. It smells good as well. But what I just noticed is that some of the product is like seeping out of the sprayer for some reason, but it just might be something wrong with the packaging or the way that it's like put in. I don't know. I have to look into that. Maybe it's just something wrong with mine, but it's something that I wanted to mention just in case, you know, you decide to buy it and you notice that as well. But oh my god, these are so cute, and they come in various types of scents and different packaging and colors. So I'm really excited that they're coming out with so many great products, and definitely their setting sprays are really nice. Lastly, we're going to talk about the star of the show, which is the Dessert Cake palette. This is really beautiful. As you guys know, like I mentioned before, this is a dupe for like cake palette. It's really nice, really gorgeous color story. It's so colorful, and like I mentioned earlier as well, when I swatch them, there is a difference in type of formula in here. We do get like that more squishy kind of putty formula in the palette. I felt like the last two rows were more pigmented than the top two, but as you guys know, swatches aren't really everything. Sometimes they don't look or swatch great on the hand, but once you put it on your eye, for example, the shade Dulce de Leche didn't really swatch out that great on my hand, but when I put it on the eyelid, you guys saw how pigmented and how easily it blended. So I'm really excited to test out the other shades, especially I want to do a blue type of look because we do have so many blues in this palette. We might even dip into that glitter shade at the top, who knows. But I have to say right off the bat, their formulation is so good. I was really impressed with this palette, and it's really inexpensive. It retails for $14 on their website, which I'm really impressed by. It's not expensive at all. You're not breaking the bank. You're getting a great formula, really pigmented shades for a great price, especially if you're a person who likes like a lot of color in their eyeshadow. I think you're gonna really enjoy this palette. So definitely something that I recommend right off the bat. I'm really impressed, and I can't wait to start creating more looks with it and also use it on TikTok. You know, I want to get back on TikTok and stuff, so we might do a couple fun looks over there as well. So it was really fun filming with this palette, and I definitely recommend. We made it to the end. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed filming this for you today. Everything that we talked about, all the names of the prices are going to be down below, as well as any videos that I mentioned throughout this video or videos that I uploaded last week. Don't forget I upload 3 times a week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. If you could stick around, that would be amazing. I have my Insta handle displayed on the screen. I post a little makeup finds from Drugstore high end, so if that interests you, go ahead and follow me there. And it'd be so amazing if you could like and subscribe. Of course, you don't have to. You're your own person, you make your own decisions, but it wouldn't hurt to give this video a like, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.